If you're using any sort of dating site, the first correspondence you'll have with somebody is probably going to be by text, letter, or email. When is the best time to meet up then? That's all we're going to be discussing in this video, and making sure that you don't correspond for too long and have some of the negative effects of that happening. Hello, my name is Katharine Gray. Welcome to our Christian Dating Coaching YouTube video channel, especially to all our subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click the red button below and ensure that you don't miss any of our future videos. Okay, let's get started. The problem with letting a relationship go on for a long time by text, letter, or email is that it can become very unsettling when you meet and find out that person is really rather different to what you'd expected or discovered through writing to them. You think you know them intimately, and yet when you meet them, they seem like a real stranger. The awkwardness of this situation can destroy any rapport that you've built up, and it can be devastating if you've invested a lot of hope and emotion in this relationship. This happened to me once. I was corresponding with a man who I thought was everything I was looking for. He was sporty, he seemed to be very intelligent, we had great communication, we discussed all sorts of topics, including our faith to quite a deep level. Some months went by, and then I decided to meet him. We met in a pub in the local village where I lived. It was a huge, huge disappointment. The man was nothing like the image that I'd perceived or made him out to be in my head. We weren't at all alike, even though we'd seemed to correspond and seemed so alike. When we met in person, he was definitely not the right man for me. I've had friends who've done the similar thing. It's so easy to connect on paper or by text. I don't really know why this is, but perhaps we project so much of our own thoughts onto that person when we're writing to them and corresponding with them. Even when we're talking to them over the phone, we project what we want them to be. And it's only when we meet them in person that the real them comes across. I know of somebody who corresponded with somebody abroad for 2 years. Finally, they agreed to meet up. They were heavily invested. When she went to meet him, she was delighted. He was everything that she was expecting. But sadly, it wasn't that way for him. And he really didn't want to know. She was utterly, utterly crushed because he never contacted her again. That was 2 years of her life wasted. That's a terrible shame. So when is the best time to meet up then? Well, I would advise you to do it quite quickly, especially if you've had quite a bit of correspondence in the first couple of weeks. Don't leave it more than 3 or 4 weeks before you meet up with someone. You don't have to meet for a long time, but meeting up really makes that whole person become so much realer to you. And you can stop years of, or months, weeks of angst of not knowing if they're the right person for you if you get together sooner rather than later. Now, obviously, with today's technology, you can do this by Zoom or by Teams or by FaceTime or by WhatsApp, all sorts of technology that allows you to see them in person. This isn't quite as good as meeting them in person because there's lots of clues that somebody will give you when you actually meet them in person, but it's better than just corresponding over the phone or by email or text. Interestingly enough, studies have shown that the most successful relationships that have started without meeting are those that then meet within 3 to 4 weeks of their first contact. So that would be my advice to you. Don't leave it too long. We've got such a short period of time and you don't want to waste all of it on a relationship that's going nowhere. That's all for now. I hope you've liked this video. Do give us a thumbs up in the box below if you've liked it, please. And perhaps give us your comments on what you think is the right time to meet up and whether you've had any experience of relationships that you thought were going somewhere and then after a long period of time you've met up and were very disappointed. We'd love to hear your comments. And please don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button below and ensure you don't miss any of our videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.